The German government has announced a package of tougher security and asylum measures after 3 people were fatally stabbed at a street festival last week. The killings sparked an intense debate over asylum laws when it emerged that the main suspect was a young Syrian man facing deportation. The announcement comes ahead of elections on Sunday in 2 eastern German states, Saxony and Thuringia, where the far-right Alternative for Germany is riding high in the polls. Let's get more on this. I'm joined by Michaela Kufner, Chief Political Editor at Deutsche Welle. Thank you so much for your time. Just explain for us the political backdrop to this with these key elections this weekend.
Yes, there are 2 regional elections coming up in 2 eastern states, Saxony and Thuringia. And both of these states are pretty much the exception on the German landscape. They are a stronghold of the far-right anti-migration Alternative for Germany party, which has been campaigning on a threat of stabbings of migrants, killing innocent Germans. And it really is quite a coincidence that last Friday, Germany saw this, what is believed to be a terrorist attack by a rejected asylum seeker from Syria who should no longer have been in the country. He should have been sent back to Bulgaria under Dublin rules, which would have allowed for him to be sent back. German authorities failed to do this. So the government found itself in a spot where it needs to prove it can act fast and swiftly ahead of those polls, which will set the mood for the political landscape for elections coming up in a year's time. But for now, it was surviving this week. That was the key issue for the government. And they announced a set of measures which will tighten asylum laws. But also today, they got a direct flight from Germany to Afghanistan, which is ruled by the Taliban, underway in a demonstration that they are able to send back failed asylum claimants, particularly when they are criminals. But here in Germany, ahead of these key polls, we see a very heated debate where any differentiation between terrorism and migration has been lost for now.
And in terms of these elections that are coming up, what is the outcome that's expected and how will that affect the overall political situation?
Well, when you look at the polls, the far-right AfD party looks pretty set to come on top. It is seeing itself neck and neck with the conservative CDU, Angela Merkel's party, although she no longer is active within her own party, in the state of Saxony, which has a conservative CDU state premier. They are pretty much certain, according to polls, to come first in Thuringia. At the same time, they have no chance of being part of the government, with all other parties having said they will not go into a coalition with them. So these elections are about who will lead a potential very complicated coalition in these 2 states. But most importantly, they will most likely deliver a victory for the far-right AfD party here in Germany. And that will increase their political clout in shaping political debates in Germany as it enters a new election year next year.
And so this announcement on asylum, obviously, the timing does seem important and interesting. Specifically, do you think it is going to go far enough to reassure the public?
That is an open question, but the real success in this was that a government led by a social democrat whose party doesn't really play much of a role in these upcoming elections demonstrated that it can act. Olaf Scholz is under pressure to demonstrate that his coalition can still deliver amidst all the infighting, with the government itself struggling to even get something basic like a budget together.
Michaela Kufner from Deutsche Welle, thank you very much indeed for being with us here on BBC News.